years. Matson and the Adai Tano program. The all-new 2018 Kona by Hyundai available at Cars Plus. IP&E fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Ahead on Primetime, Day 3 in the search for a teen who went missing during a hike with friends. His father speaks with KUAM as rescue efforts are ongoing. Plus, the GovGuam's FY19 budget is now awaiting action from Governor Calvo. Adelup is said to be reviewing the numbers that senators sent their way. And the three candidates vying to be the island's next Attorney General take on questions from their colleagues. A look at today's forum hosted by the Guam Bar Association.
Hafaday and good evening. I'm Crystal Paco.
Guahusi Nick Delgado. A multi-agency search now in its third day for a missing hiker separated from his group over the weekend. And Chris, the scene no doubt emotional as you went out there today.
That's right, Nick. And that hiker has been identified as 15-year-old Xavier Akima. Today we spoke with rescuers as well as Xavier's father, Andrew, as many pray that he is found soon. This afternoon around 3 p.m., authorities recovered Xavier's bag. The bag was found near the Leo Palace Bridge around the Pago Bay outlet. Search and rescue efforts continue, Monday marking Day 3.
So the past couple of days we've been searching along the river and the riverbanks. Of course, we're expanding that search. We're doing free diving inside the pools that are collecting water and also expanding outwards on the embankments on both sides of the river.
The Guam Fire Department, the Police Department, the United States Coast Guard, and the Guam Army National Guard combed the San Carlos Falls area in search of Xavier Akima. The 15-year-old was hiking with friends on Saturday when the weather turned for the worse. Heavy rains resulted in flash flooding. GFD spokesperson Kevin Riley.
9 kids went out as a group for a physical fitness expedition. While they're heading back, one of the boys got swept under the river.
Xavier's father, Andrew Akima, tells KUAM waiting has been the hardest part. He and dozens of family members wait down the road from where rescuers have established a command post in Nimitz Hill. Though he declined an on-camera interview, he spoke to us about his youngest son. The father, Dueñas Memorial School Jr., is a funny, super smart go-getter. On Saturday, Xavier told his dad about his plans to go hiking. Andrew told his son to have fun, stay hydrated, but to please be safe. The family now offering prayers to help the hours pass and keep spirits up. Those wanting to volunteer, meanwhile, are being turned away. They'd hurt more than help ongoing search efforts. Drones are also prohibited in the area. Instead, the Guam Army National Guard deployed a helicopter late Monday morning.
We understand that everybody wants to help, but the conditions down there are just too risky for volunteers to come down unless you're a professional, unless you're trained. It's a liability for us. The terrain is slippery, it's muddy and rocky. The river itself is just full of rocks, bamboo that's been washed out from previous rains, so it's very difficult.
The San Carlos Falls Trail is rated difficult for experienced hikers only. Andrew says his boy has been on hikes before, but never to San Carlos Falls. While the father of 4 is preparing for the worst, he still has hope. Quote, I don't feel that he's gone, end quote. The mission remains a search and rescue.
We're not switching over to recovery mode right now. We are still in search and rescue.
Because of Xavier's bag, rescuers have shifted their command post to the Menengan Bridge. The Archdiocese of Agana confirms students at Father Dueñas Memorial School can also avail of counseling services on campus. Archdiocese Communications Director Tony Diaz adding, quote, it is a difficult time, so the church welcomes all who are praying for the missing boy.
Well, after more than 2 weeks of legislative debate, the fiscal year 2019 budget bill is finally headed to the governor's office. Senators passing it late Saturday after failing to muster enough support a previous day on that spending plan.
The new measure removes a controversial section that guts the budgets of 3 key agencies after the governor threatened to veto it if it were included. Nestor Lacanza reports.
Thank you on that motion.
Working through the weekend, senators passed the bill 8-7, saying they were able to balance it through a combination of budget cuts and tax increases to make up for a projected $138 million revenue shortfall from the Trump tax reforms. The hikes include a continuation of the 5% business privilege tax, a $1 per pack increase in the tobacco tax, and a rise in real property tax for improvements of $1 million or more. But lawmakers backed off on a provision to slash the appropriations to the governor's office, Revenue Tax, and the administration department, and force them to collect on prior year unpaid taxes to fully fund their operations. Governor Calvo threatened a veto for that provision alone. Senators also hedged their bets on two issues they're hoping to fast-track. They removed them from the budget bill, passing them as separate standalone measures. One appropriates $1.5 million from tax amnesty proceeds to pay for A&E work on the long-delayed Simon Sanchez High School reconstruction. The other appropriates $5 million for the hospital to address deficiencies cited in a Centers for Medicaid and Medicare report. Speaker Benjamin Cruz.
It was made very clear to us that we had to forthwith pass an expedited bill to be able to make sure that they would set aside the $5 million for the hospital. October 3rd is very fast approaching. I'm hoping that they will get the money as soon as possible and can make the corrective actions that are deemed necessary.
The GMH appropriation was later raised to $6.8 million. In a statement, ADLUB says it's reviewing the budget bill carefully. The governor has 10 days to sign or veto it. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Child support, deportation of criminals, and government corruption. Just some of the issues talked about during the Guam Bar Association's forum for the Attorney General candidates.
The three gunning for the island's top legal seat also went over what they say would make them the best man for the job. There was also no shying away from asking how they would handle the ongoing gun investigation involving Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio. Here's a look.
Attorney General candidates Gary Gumatautau, Doug Moreland, and Levin Camacho one by one discussing what they would do if elected as Guam's next AG. One issue, how they would handle corruption in Gov Guam.
So I don't think that it's up to the AG to just wait for the report to come. Sometimes the AG's got to reach out and make that happen. And then once they get the information, they've got to decide what to do with it.
Corruption should be prosecuted, but I also think that the AG should play a role in preventing corruption to begin with.
The Government Corruption Division is coming back, but we have other priorities as well.
But the question that grabbed the attention of the audience at the forum, how they would respond to the Legislative Public Safety Oversight Chair's request for the AG to give an update to the investigation regarding Lieutenant Governor Tenorio's gun incident in Tumon.
Grab a gun, go to jail. And I mean it. Okay, this is not a game. We're talking about felonies here. We're talking about people that could be hurt. 3 times he grabbed that gun. And 3 times he waved it around. And 3 times the officer chased him down to get the gun. The gun was loaded. How do we know this? You know, Ray was on television talking about it. He gave the information to the reporter. He admitted it. Now, I love Ray. I know Ray personally. I was very close to his mother. I really do like Ray. I just saw him on Saturday. And it would pain me to have to be the one to prosecute him for this. That's why I would hope that the current AG would do the job.
No one is above the law, and everyone wants to have faith that the system is going to work, no matter if it's you or me who's charged with a crime or committed a crime or is under investigation. But I think the Office of the Attorney General Barrett Anderson is doing the right thing. As prosecutors, you can't comment on cases that are ongoing or under investigation. I know that the people want to know what the status is, and the Attorney General can make those types of remarks. But in terms of what's going to happen, it has to be sequential. And ethically, that's the way it should happen, because everyone's entitled to a fair trial. We may not agree with it, but that's the way the system is designed.
I do not believe that it is responsible to say anything about what's going on until you're sitting in the chair, like our chief prosecutor is there. And I would, 2 issues at stake. One, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. Even up till the time that that jury goes out and deliberates, Ray is innocent until proven guilty. And I would disagree with Levin. There's no ethical rule that outright prohibits the prosecutor from talking. There are rules, but not one that says you can't talk about it.
And there was so much more discussed. Keep an eye out for our rebroadcast of the AG Forum in its entirety. We will also be having the AG candidates in studio this Wednesday on D18 Tonight. Well, staying with D18 News, joining us live in studio this evening are your senatorial candidates, Jack Hatzick III, Stephen Guerrero, and Senator Talina Nelson. Our D18 Tonight is completely interactive, so post your questions on our Facebook live stream, and we'll ask them on the show. D18 Tonight begins immediately after this newscast.
Well, it's back to school tomorrow. Up to the last hours of summer, parents are buying school supplies and teachers decorating classrooms ready for what this year has to offer.
Yeah, I like how you're singing in the school year right there. Well, Carmen Talahi has this next story.
Less than 1 day away from the first day of school, we caught up with parents buying last-minute school supplies at Honey House in Harmon. Lindsay Mofnet says her middle and high school students are eager to get back to class, reaching for new goals this school year.
Hopefully some better grades from them. That was kind of like overwhelming, plus, there's packed, everywhere is packed, and you don't get to find the things you want to find, so you have to settle for whatever. So it's kind of, it's kind of hard.
Despite the stress of back-to-school shopping, Dr. Aldrin Cahigal was putting the finishing touches on his classroom decor at Liguan Elementary.
It was pretty stressful because normally I am a first grade teacher, but because of the redistricting of students, we had to lose one position, which was the first grade, and I decided that maybe I should challenge myself. They just told me that I'm a third grade teacher last week, Monday. So I was very fortunate that I had lots of relatives who were free, college students, so they helped me pretty much set up my classroom.
With the help of his team, he paid out of pocket for classroom decorations that he says helps create a positive learning environment.
I've always believed that if you have a very clean, welcoming environment, then the students will definitely learn a lot better.
He has this advice for incoming students and teachers.
It's okay to be nervous, it's okay to make mistakes, but as long as you always listen, be respectful to your teacher and your peers, I think you'll be fine. Students will be great. I'm very confident that Liguan Elementary specifically will soar high, and I hope that, throughout all the other public schools on Guam, teachers would come together, and I've seen it.
Dr. Cahigal says this year Liguan Elementary is also looking forward to accreditation in March. Schools open early Tuesday morning. Reporting for Guam News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
Parties in the 180-plus clergy sexual abuse lawsuits are due back in court on Tuesday. As reported, most of the cases are expected to head for settlement. Back in June, parties reported significant progress with depositions and pre-mediation protocol. They also reported 10 victims who opted out of filing suit will be included in the mediation process. Tuesday's status conference is set for 8:30 a.m. in the District Court of Guam before Chief Judge Francis Tedinko Gatewood, as well as Superior Court Judge Michael Berdallo.
Well, stick around for more news here on Primetime.
You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience KUAM news than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming, KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy. To the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
I've worked with everyone running for governor. I know what they've done and what they haven't. There have been so many missed opportunities to prevent the crises facing Guam. I know Lou would never have allowed GMH to go without resources. She would have closed the revenue loopholes so that the $8.1 billion military buildup generated additional revenue for Guam. She'll make sure our government lives within its means. I'm Carlotta Leon Guerrero, a Republican, and I'm voting for Lou and Josh. Please vote for them too.
Win adventure in the ITNE Explore Your World Million Mile Giveaway. Every week from July 16 to November 2nd, we're giving away 60,000 United Mileage Plus miles to ITNE postpaid and prepaid subscribers. Imagine where you could go. Go on a weekend getaway to the Philippines. Enjoy fresh sushi in Japan. Itadakimasu. Sip a latte at a cafe in Paris. Or use your miles for shopping and other rewards. It's your world. Explore it.
Big Fries took everything from me to keep my father from exposing the truth about Nacho Fries.
Rebellion is forming. Flip the switch.
Is there anything that tastes better than this?
Revenge.
The future is Nacho Fries!
Looks like you guys could use a hand.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
Hafide and welcome back. The mother charged with killing her newborn is now placed on curfew instead of house arrest. Melissa Fupul appeared in court on Monday morning. The government had no objections to the change in her release conditions. Fupul previously pleaded not guilty to murder, manslaughter, child abuse, and family violence. She reportedly concealed her pregnancy from her family and her boyfriend and delivered the baby girl in the bathroom. An autopsy determined the newborn died from suffocation. A return hearing is set for October with the baby set to be buried on Tuesday.
Another push in the trial against the 6 remaining defendants charged in connection to last year's murder in the prison. Marvin Retcham, Iceland Miller, Benster Benjamin, Ayla Simron, Vincent Menicio, and Andrew Rios Jr. were scheduled to go to trial this week. Trial, as of Monday, has been rescheduled for September 25th. The court expressing concern as each of the defendants has asserted their right to a speedy trial. The delay, however, is necessary to allow for FBI analysis. The men are charged for the killing of Edred Manton Essar, a detainee at the Hagåtña lockup.
A man is accused of breaking into a Manila home in May, taking thousands of dollars worth of personal property before selling it at the Dedado flea market. The suspect only confessing late last month to his alleged involvement in the theft. Matthew Roy Sablan is charged with burglary and theft of property. The suspect told police that he and 2 others broke into a family member's home. The stolen items valued at about $16,000 to $20,000, which included jewelry, electronics, and money. Court documents state they then brought these stolen items to the flea market and split the profits. Though 2 others are named in court, the court complaint Sablan is the only one charged so far.
Well, officers with the Madani Drug Task Force have been tipped off about one man's alleged involvement with narcotics and unauthorized transfers of unregistered firearms. That man has been taken into custody following a search warrant at a home in Dedado Friday. Daniel Roberto is charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. Authorities searched the suspect's car, where court documents state they found a glass pipe with meth residue. Before being placed under arrest, the suspect admitted to police that he is a user of the drug ice.
Veterans helping veterans. It's the mission of Green Valor. Over the weekend, the organization led a cleanup at the Veterans Cemetery. Local veterans organizations, active duty personnel, reservists, and other volunteer organizations pitched in to water blast, cut grass, and paint at the PD Cemetery. Ray Shinahara is the founder of Green Valor. He served 11 years in the Marine Corps.
This is the first time Green Valor has took the initiative to help clean the cemetery. We really focus on community efforts with veterans that struggle with PTSD and mental health issues.
This was one of the many projects Green Valor has hosted.
We make therapy gardens specifically for disabled veterans. So that's something we do. We do a lot of gatherings of veterans to help as a group therapy for people that are struggling with the transition out of the military or with PTSD.
To learn more about Green Valor and other projects they may be holding in the future, check out their Facebook page.
Well, the search for the new Miss World Guam is underway. On Sunday, an orientation was held for contestants to learn about what to expect on their journey. The Miss World Guam pageant focuses on giving back to the community. As part of the pageant, contestants raise money for local charities. Reigning Miss World Guam, Destiny Cruz.
For me, I really wanted to join Miss World, of course, to give back to our community, but I believe that representation is very important. And, you know, a lot of times, just to be real with all of you guys, we look at beauty queens and it's always this perfect person that we have to look up to, right? And that's not reality. People don't always look like the super skinny, super tall. That's not me. I'm short and I'm brown and I'm from Inamaha and I didn't come I didn't come from money. I'm just me. And I remained myself, and I believe that whenever you are genuine and you are nice and you really empower other women, that will get you everywhere. That's the most important thing.
And if you'd like to join the pageant, visit Miss World Guam on Facebook or Instagram's page for more information. And you might get a chance to link up with Crystal Paco here to get some tips and tricks to help you on your pageant journey.
Sports is next, but first, your island weather.
Make every day a plus.
Summer is here, and at Cars Plus and Mighty, that means big savings during our summer clearance event. Right now, save up to $8,000 on select 2018 Ram 1500 SLT Crew Cab, or save $3,250 on a 2018 Chrysler Pacifica. Voted Family Car of the Year. 1.99 APR financing is available for qualified buyers. Plus, buy today and receive a Cars Plus value card, where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Don't miss our summer clearance event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
As a mayor, I see the first-hand struggles our people face. I see the real effects of tax increases and what happens